Welcome to Rad Round Show. I'm your host, Rad Round, the poster child for ADHD. The vibe for today's show is freaking awesome. Why is it freaking awesome? Peep my fit, everybody. Rad Rando, what is that you're trying to show us there? Well, let me tell you. This is a vintage 1980s Swatch watch shirt and a vintage 1980s Swatch watch. Rad Rando, what's a Swatch watch? We'll stick around and find out. Let's get into it, everybody. Welcome, everybody. So this was one of the funnest ones I've ever had to research because I have loved the Swatch watch company forever. Of course, you guys know I am a fool for the 80s. And all the quirky, amazing little things that came with the 80s. So, I was more than thrilled to do a little bit of research and find out a little bit more about this amazing, cool friggin' company called Swatch Watch. If you were raised in the 1980s, you know exactly what a Swatch Watch is because it was the absolute must-have, go-to accessory of the 80s. If you didn't have Swatch watches, you just weren't cool. Let me explain to you a little more about that. I am going to have to read from my notes because, man, this is a lot for me to spit out today. And I was just garbling my words and spitting stuff out. So we ain't going off the dome today. I'm going to read the text so you don't get lost and I don't get lost. I'll probably get lost, but at least if I read, you won't get lost. So let's get into it. The name Swatch is short for second watch. The idea behind second watch was to have a watch you could accessorize with your outfit, cheap enough that you could afford to buy several of them without breaking the bank. This simple plastic analog watch launched its first line in 1983 as the result of the quartz crisis in the world of watches due to the fact that all old European Swiss watchmakers were focused on high-quality, pricey timepieces, but they were struggling to keep up with the competition that came from the Asian markets. Like companies like Seiko and Casio in Japan, they were mass-producing at a rate the Swiss watchmakers were not able to keep up with. They just couldn't compete with the inexpensive battery-powered quartz watches made by the Japanese. The Swiss watchmakers' solution to get the business back was a Swatch watch, so they could regain business that they lost before they were completely tanked in their economy, the watch economy, because they were losing hard and bad. It almost completely collapsed on them, honestly. And boy, did it ever work. Back then, you could get the many styles of Swatch watches for about $30 to $40, which was considered a great deal for the name brand Swiss watch, which Swiss watches were considered top of line, and they still are today. In 1984, Swatch watch sales went from 3 million to 105 million in 1985. That's figuring it out right there. That is what I call growing your market share. That is what I call winning. To keep creating new, unique styles, Swatch would hire different designers to give people a lot more variety to choose from. Some watches, like the rare Kiki Picasso design watch, was among the most rare, it being said that only made about 100 or so of them. Occasionally, in certain auctions, you can find some of these rare Swatch watches, and they'll sell for upwards of like $20,000. So this one right here, I think you can get about $40-50, but those rare ones are pretty special. And they were absolutely the coolest accessory you could own in the 80s. But what you didn't know is that the Swiss watch trend of the 80s was not the only thing that they accomplished. This company, because of all the profit they gained in the 80s, was able to like buy out and start all these other companies. They are actually the biggest watch company in the world. other than Rolex. But they own brands like Breguet, Omega, Tissot, Blancpain, Gushut Original, Jacquet, Draws, and Hamilton. I know a few of those. I've completely butchered the rest of them. But, dude, talk about figuring it out. They figured it out and killed it. It's hard to say if these old companies like Omega, Tissot, and if they're still going to make it, because like everybody's getting digital watches. I actually have one that I wear most of the time. The heart rate and all the stuff that you get. But I think there's still a place for these old style watches, and they're near and dear to my heart. And I plan on, once I get back into money this summer, with my mowing business, I'm gonna buy a few more of these Swatch watches, and a few other accessories, if you know what I'm saying, because I gotta accessorize. I am Rad Randall, and I gotta be my weird self, and you be your weird self. And we'll see you on the next one, everybody. Peace, I'm out of here.